Hello guys, welcome to my channel. This is the 38th tutorial in this course, and in this tutorial we are going to talk about the do-while loop in C. The do-while loop is the third and the final looping construct that we're going to meet in this course, and we've already seen the while and the for loops in the previous tutorials. And what we did in those tutorials, we're going to try to do the same thing in this tutorial. That is, we're going to try to print 10 statements on the screen, and each is going to be different from the rest only slightly. That is, we're going to have an integer in our program. We're going to give it an initial value 0, and then we're going to update it using do while, and we're also going to print its value using printf through the loop. So the syntax of do while is not really similar to while. It's just that it has the keyword while in it. So you could say that it is slightly similar, but there is one important thing about do while, and that is that it's not an entry control loop, but it is an exit control loop. And what I mean by that is, even if the test condition for the first iteration in the loop evaluates to false, the loop will have at least one iteration. And I guess the best way to explain that is by making the program and then by demonstrating what I just talked about. So let's declare our integer, and of course I'm going to call it a, because that's my favorite name, and then I'll give it the value 0 using the assignment operator with a semicolon to terminate this statement. On the next line, I'll type in the keyword do, and after typing in do, I'm not going to type in a pair of parentheses. I'm not going to type in test condition or anything. Instead, I'm just going to have my pair of curly braces on the next line. So you don't have to type in your test condition immediately after the keyword do, and that's what I meant when I said that it's an exit control loop but not an entry control loop. And anyway, inside the body of do, we're going to have printf, of course, because we have to display 10 strings on screen. So the matter that we're going to display is going to be the same as we used for the previous tutorials. A is, and then the colon symbol, and %d, the format specifier that you need for an integer, and then of course the new line escape sequence, and after the second double quotation mark I'll put in a comma, and then I'll type in the name of my variable, which is a. I'll put a semicolon to terminate this statement, and I'll update the control variable by typing in a++. Remember, you can also type in a equals a+1 here. It's the same thing, and a++ is just a shorthand way of doing it. And after the closing curly brace, you have to type in the keyword while, and this is where you have to type in your test condition, right? So after typing in while, you need to put in a set of parentheses, and within the parentheses you type in your test condition, which is going to be a less than 10, right? And another change that you're going to have for the do while loop, another important part of the syntax, is that you have to put in a semicolon after the closing parentheses of the while statement, right? So you have to put a semicolon here, and this is not something that you did either for or for while. So please make a note of this. And I've saved the file. When I click on build and run, I see that in my output window I get the same output as I got for the previous two tutorials, for while and for. So do while does this, but one thing that do while does, and that for and while do not do, is that the loop works, or the first iteration would work even if the test condition would evaluate to false, right? So if here I would change the value of a to 10, then if we were using while or for, then the loop wouldn't have executed even once. Why? Because the test condition would have failed even before the first iteration of the loop, and the loop wouldn't have done anything, right? But here, since we are going to check whether the test condition evaluates to true or false after the body of the loop has been executed at least once, we're going to have at least one iteration. So I've saved the file, and when I click on build and run, I see that I do get the message a is 10. Right? So even though the test condition is not resulting into a true value, the loop has run at least once. So the do while loop finds interesting applications in programs where you have menus, right? So where you would want to display something at least once, even if nothing is working, you would want to do something at least once. In those cases, you would want to use the do while loop. So anyway, I hope you guys have absorb the syntax of do while. We will definitely use it in this course in the coming tutorials. Thank you so much for watching this one. I'll see you guys in the next tutorial, which we'll discuss something interesting for sure. So please stay tuned for updates and please subscribe to my channel in case you haven't already. And I'll see you soon.